Welcome to Money on Your Mind. Today's show is brought to you by Bonney Automotive for all your automotive needs at 640 Boston Ave in Ball Square, Somerville, and by Alfresco Restaurant, the finest in Italian and Mediterranean food at 382 Highland Ave, right in Davis Square, Somerville. My name is Belinda Fuchs. I'm a financial coach, CPA, and president of OwnYourMoney.com. At OwnYourMoney.com, we help people to get out of their own way and into profitable action so that you can reclaim your financial power and refill your bank account. Our newest product, Invest in Yourself, the 7-day system to take control of your money, helps you do just that. It'll help you to get started immediately to understand and improve your financial situation. If you'd like more information on our newest products, as well as our coaching and presentations, just go right to ownyourmoney.com. To sum it up, we help people to make more, save more, and stress less about their money. And we're so glad that you tuned in today to our show, Money on Your Mind, to help you survive and thrive in these turbulent times. Today's topic is so timely. It's College Financing 101, and I'm here to welcome our guest, Kathy Anderson.
Thank you very much for having me, Belinda.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming today. I'd like to share with our audience a little bit about you. Okay. Kathy Anderson has 17 years of experience working with all aspects of higher education, saving, financing, and financial aid. Currently, she is a college relationship manager for MEFA, the Massachusetts Educational Financing Authority. Kathy has worked at and with a wide variety of colleges and universities, from community colleges through to graduate schools. Kathy has done numerous presentations throughout the country on financial aid, saving for college, college financing, and debt management to both local and national audiences. In addition, over the course of her career, she has worked with thousands of students and their families to guide them through the college financing process. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
So we prepared questions based on the most frequently asked questions that we both get to create our College Financing 101. Plus, the subscribers to my newsletters also sent in some great questions too. And by the way, if you want to get those newsletters and our money success tips, you just go to ownyourmoney.com, and you can also watch past Money on Your Mind TV shows too. So let's start at the top. What are we talking about when we talk about college financial aid?
Financial aid is, when everybody thinks of financial aid, they think grants and scholarships and free money. But what we spend some time telling families is that it's usually also including loans. So families may be surprised to find out that when they get their college financial aid package, it might include some grants, it might include some scholarships, but the bulk of the package may be in the form of a loan. So we try to prepare families for that reality that, yes, you may get some free money, but you may also be borrowing to get yourself through 4 years of college or 2 years or whatever it is, whichever length of program you're studying. So,
yeah, I feel like that has changed some over time, that it's now become more loans than we used to see in the past.
Right.
And what I feel like could be a great next step then is to do an overview of the process.
Sure.
What do families do to apply?
So families who are applying it, and let's just create a hypothetical student who would be enrolling in fall 2010 at a college or community college. The first step for them is to apply through the free application for federal student aid. It's also called the FAFSA. That takes parent information as well as student information. It's based on the most recent year's income. So for students applying for fall 2010, they'd need their 2009 income information. They fill out the FAFSA. The information is automatically sent to the colleges and universities that the students have indicated they'd want to receive their information. Once the college gets it, they will do what's called packaging. They'll look at the student, they'll look at their what's called their family contribution, and that's a number that comes back from the FAFSA. What that family contribution is made up of is parent assets, parent income, student income. The numbers are combined and it gives the family contribution. That's an estimate of what the college expects the family to contribute over the course of the academic year. That number is coming from the FAFSA, and what the college does with that is they will take the family contribution and work with their cost of attendance. There's a lot of acronyms in our business, but cost of attendance is tuition and room and board. It's the big picture number for living on campus or living in an apartment for 9 months. Subtract those two, and that's what the need is. The college then works with that need number to best package the student with whatever funds the school has available, the college has available. They send it back to the family in the form of, it's called an award letter, and the family will get one from each college or university that they've applied to, and that's usually comes around the same time as the admissions decision. And that's how families apply for financial aid. There's sometimes a second form that a family may have to fill out too, called the profile form. That digs a little bit deeper into the family's financial circumstances than does the federal form. So each college or university will tell the student what form is required, and the student does need to pay some attention. It gets a little challenging to manage all these moving parts, but the student should pay attention to the forms that are required and the various deadlines that the colleges have. I think the one tip we try to give to people is, if you get nothing else out of any of the seminars that we're doing, we do financial aid seminars, if you get nothing else out of that evening, pay attention to the deadlines of the colleges, because that can make a very large difference in the financial aid package. So that's, in a very high level overview, that's the process itself. It's pretty
Okay, so
quick
actually,
and
let me
easy.
pick up on that
Sure, go ahead.
deadline point just for a
Yep.
second, because I hadn't thought about that so much
Right.
ahead of time, because there's a couple of things, right? The process starts January.
That's right.
First, in terms of applications, as well as that FAFSA, right? Now, if you just mentioned that you need 2009 information.
That's right.
So do they work off of your tax return? So do you need to get that tax return filed much quicker probably than you might have in the past? So
Right.
come, say, February 1st, you need to get going to get that handled?
The pressure to complete a tax return is a little higher when you have a student going into college in the fall than it is in any normal year. But if it's not possible, I know that for some families with complicated financial situations, it's not always possible to have their tax returns done for 2009. So what our advice is to use 2008, let's say, and use that as an estimate for 2009. The form does allow for estimates, and we would say use the most recent data that you have, the best information that you have, to estimate it in order to meet that deadline. So don't wait till you've been accepted, and don't wait until taxes are actually filed if it means missing a deadline.
And so people don't want to wait, because then the school could have given out all of their financial aid. Is that the main reason why?
They could have given out all of their own grants and scholarships. Financial aid comes from a variety of sources. The biggest one is the federal government, because they have the Pell Grants, but they also have a lot of the loans and work study. Those are federal programs. The schools and universities have a pool of dollars that they manage themselves, that they will award to students based on need, based on meeting deadlines, a lot of different things. And that's the money that I'm talking about. The federal money is always available, so if you miss the deadline, you can still get the federal loans and the federal grants that you might be eligible to get. But for the college's money, if you miss the college's deadline, you would probably most likely be out of the running for their own, we call them institutional funds, so for the college's own money.
That's very important when
Very
people are
important,
applying. That's
yes.
one of the key things that they're looking for, because the federal money would be available anyway. So to sum up the deadlines, when are these deadlines usually? When do they start, so that people know which ones do I need to be looking for, and how quick do they normally come?
Usually for incoming students, for the freshman class of 2010, the deadlines are generally very early in March. Now, they are going to vary by college. I've seen some as early as February 15th. I've seen some as late as the end of March. But they are generally in March, and my advice is to always go with the earliest one.
Right, and
so
get
that
everything done,
right.
or at least make sure that one's your first one. And then does FAFSA have to be in before those,
It
or
does.
right at the same time?
In order to meet a deadline, the student has to have what's called a completed file, meaning that they have to have all the pieces that are required in place by that deadline. The nice thing about the FAFSA is that it is done electronically, so parents and students would fill the information out online. The information is processed electronically and sent to the colleges electronically, so that there's no mailing paper back and forth. It is a pretty fast process.